Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Wednesday, February 22nd. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you are someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. First off, a couple clarification points. Number one, the price you see over here will be changing, and then the candlestick right there will also be moving around. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time, but I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. And then second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So stock number one here, SRNE, and this one's got a special place in my heart because for those of you longer time viewers, you know that I've been tracking this one for quite a while and constantly talking about, I know a lot of bad news out there on this one. I know, I get it, and things are looking bad. But then when things started to go sideways throughout the question, okay, maybe this is some sort of leading indicator. And yeah, the bounce has occurred. And as I mentioned, when these things start to bounce, they can really make worthwhile movements. And that's what we have right now. But as always, you want to be very careful because the news is still bad. So these things can certainly roll over, which doesn't mean you need to stay away from them, but it does imply, like any trade, you're going to want to have risk management and discipline within it. But as of right now, no doubt about it, it is starting to turn back upwards, and we have ourselves a nice pattern here headed into Wednesday. So let me just get this in play, and bottom part of the pattern right there, support at 35 cents. So let me change that to green to represent more so the support dynamic of the pattern, and then maybe make it easier to see. Let me just map out the entire pattern, same color. So we have, oh, that was terrible. Let's try again. We have our resistance, we have our support, we have the upwards move right there. For you golfers out there, we'll put the golf hole down here. So we have ourselves a bull pennant pattern headed into Wednesday. So if you like penny stocks, if you like bull pennant patterns, definitely keep an eye on it. But overall, congratulations to those of you that have been watching this one, stalking it, and finally getting that move back to the upside. Next, AMAM, and yeah, that is AMAM. I don't think I noticed that the first time I did it. But anyways, previous time, did this one, mapped out that area of resistance right there. You can see got the breakout back there on Friday and then slowly went upwards. So going into today, it was a question of, okay, got the breakout of that line. Is there going to be any sort of follow through? And we didn't have to wait long at all. The first 30 minutes of the day right there, you can see a whole lot of follow through. And then after that, has consolidated, but within consolidating, and I wanted to put this one at a strategic location because you're going to hear me say basically the same things here. Does it look the exact same? It doesn't, but the general idea remains the same, is we have another bull pennant pattern. So bottom of this pattern right there, support at $4.40. So get that changed to green. And then once again, to keep it all the same color, we have our resistance, we have our support, we have the big upwards move right there, golf hole down here. So another bull pennant pattern. So maybe you don't like penny stocks, but you do like bull pennant patterns. Here's one to keep an eye on. Next one here, AMC, the uptrend continues, and within the uptrend, we have ourselves, you guessed it, another bull pennant pattern. So for the sake of time, and I want to respect your time as much as possible, I'm not going to sit here and say everything other than just redraw the pattern right there so that you can see how the pattern has taken shape. So resistance, support, upwards move, golf hole down here. There we go. Another bull pennant pattern. So yeah, AMC looking good. Higher highs and higher lows. Has itself another bull pennant pattern. Let's see if it can break to the upside. Next one, PLTR, and this one continues to pull back further and further, although I'm not going to say that the chart's ruined, and I'm saying that for one specific reason. Let me get rid of these lines as they serve their purpose for now. But from the big picture point of view, the price is still above and is doing battle with, and so far so good, that pink line there, 200 period moving average is holding as support. Now, there is a bit of perspective. If you're a day trader, I get it. And you bought right there, or you bought right there, or you bought, this morning right there, and your plan was to buy and sell within 5 minutes. Well, then from that point of view, sure, the chart looks really, really bad. But assuming you do care about the big picture point of view, I get it. There has been a huge pullback here. However, like I said, the price is still above that 200 period moving average. Now, if on Wednesday the price just breaks through it and continues to separate, at that point, yeah, something is wrong. Something is officially broken. The bears are back in full control. But you can say that the bears are in full control. You can definitely say they're starting to take back over control. But full control, I would disagree with that because, again, the price is still above this longer overall moving average or that 200 period moving average. So moral of the story here, that's going to be the key, kind of question mark going into Wednesday. Is this area going to hold and provide a bounce, or is the price going to bleed down through it, which is just going to create that much more panic and that many more people waving that white flag? So, going into Wednesday, Wednesday, it's all about that 200 period moving average. Next one, ARBE, and I suppose I put this one in the wrong spot in the watch list because, yes, we have ourselves another pattern, although slightly different, but it is still going to be a bull pennant. But in this one, I think the best way to draw the pattern is to draw just the flat resistance right up there at $7, and then the support right here has a pretty nice little trend line right there that you can put into place. But like I said, overall, maybe not the exact same as the previous ones, but still the general overall pattern of a bull pennant. So resistance, support, nice move right there. A golf hole down here. So again, it's been the watch list of bull pennants, but that's just sometimes how the market goes. You just get a lot of the same exact types of patterns. Real quick, wanted to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online training that I'm offering later on in the week. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency, to manage risk, then certainly get signed up for the free live training. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link in the description box. If you're watching at my site, there's an area right there on the webpage that you can click to get signed up. So like I said, if you've been enjoying, then definitely get signed up for the free training. Next one here, TRKA, and I like this one because it's got just such a well-defined problem area, and that's right up here at this 32-cent mark. You can see not once, but twice the price came up to that area and got rejected from it. And then the third time was a little bit tricky because the price broke through it, so it looked like a breakout and then just fell right back down. So yeah, number 3 there was definitely a very nasty, very tricky part. But at the core, what I'm trying to get across is you got to think that a lot of people are watching 32 cents. And I say that because when a lot of people are watching the same level, wondering the same thing, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can produce some very dynamic movement. So while there is no such thing as a guarantee in the market, all I'm saying is that if the price were to come up to 32 and then break up through it, is it plausible, is it rational to think that that could create additional buying pressure? Well, just because it's breaking out of a very well-defined level, yes, that's not a guaranteed outcome, but it's certainly plausible. So keep an eye on 32 cents as that main area of resistance. Whoops, let me change that up. And then as far as areas of support are concerned, keep an eye on this former breakout area down here right around the 25-cent mark. Once again, same general idea of what we looked at on ticker symbol here, IBIO, but you have a pretty well-defined level, and it's also right up that round number of $2. So you had a little bit of a tricky one right there where the price broke above it and then came back down. But like I said, generally speaking, well-defined level, so no guarantees, but is it plausible to think that if the price comes back up to $2 with all sorts of people watching it, breaks up through it, that break could create additional buying pressure? That is certainly a valid thought process to have. And then if you like more so plain supports and pullbacks, interesting level from a pullback standpoint at this one right down here around the $1.60 mark. But all in all, at least in my opinion, the most interesting dynamic and the dynamic that you got to think more people are watching than not is all about that $2 mark and whether or not the price can get back up there and then potentially break through it. Next one here, TSLA Tesla. And you can see as I speak, last 30 minutes here, big red candle actually breaking down to lows. Volume coming in here pretty heavy right now. But again, that's a very narrow view. I mean, that comment was based on literally the last 30 minutes of the day. Taking a step back, you can see that overall the trend is still very clearly up, but we are now approaching a level that you got to think a lot of people are watching, so you can start to reintroduce that talking point of self-fulfilling prophecies. But it's all about, I think PLTR talked about it, but that pink line, the 200 period moving average. Right now, let's just call it value of 196. So does that mean that 196 is going to come into play on Wednesday? Of course not. But at this point, does it seem like there's a very valid chance that 196 will come into play? In my mind, absolutely, which means that a lot of eyeballs are going to be watching that level. You're going to have longs watching it saying, you know what, if the price goes down there, I'm going to be looking for some sort of bounce. I completely see where they're coming from. You're also going to have shorts saying, well, if the price goes down there and breaks through it, I think that thing's going to get that much more momentum to the downside. I understand where they're coming from, but that's why risk management matters, because somebody's going to be right, somebody's going to be wrong. But the key underlying dynamic here is that everybody is going to be talking about that 200 period moving average, which again, just for simplicity's sake, is down there at the 196 mark. So definitely keep an eye on that. If the price cannot hold above that moving average, then at that point, from a bigger picture point of view, as far as supports are concerned, next key level to watch would then be right down there around the 189.50 mark. If there is some sort of bounce, then the key area to watch from resistance standpoint going to be right up there around the 208 mark. But yeah, all eyes going to be on that 200 period moving average. Next one here, MOB. I like this one a lot just because it's so well defined from both angles, and I don't proclaim that any of these are secret discoveries or a great talent. You got to think a lot of people are watching them. So again, we can just look at these as potentially self-fulfilling prophecy points. The first one is right here, this area of resistance right up at let's call it the $2.35 mark. You can see on 3 separate occasions, a couple of times there, and then one more time there. Price got up to that level, couldn't quite push through it. So from a self-fulfilling prophecy angle, is it valid? Is it, rational to think that if the price gets up there and pushes up through it, that break could create additional buying pressure? Absolutely. And then on the flip side of things, as far as supports, the price got down to this area several times throughout the course of the day at the $2.10. I'm just curious. I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, basically 6. So about 6 times right down around that area and held strong. Does that mean that it's for sure going to hold strong? No, but would it be crazy for somebody to think that it could hold strong and then create a bounce? No, nobody would be considered crazy because it's got such a track record of doing that already. So very well-defined points, $2.35 resistance, $2.10 area of support. Next one here, TQQQ, which is an ETF that measures the NASDAQ. So if you believe that the NASDAQ market as a whole is going to rise, this one will also rise. Big difference being this allows you access at a much lower price point, which makes it a very popular ETF. And because the NASDAQ market had a bad day today, this one also had a bad day. And now it's starting to get down to some very interesting levels here of support, with the next key level of support essentially being it where it is right now at $22.35. Going back to the history of things, you can see that this was a former little consolidation area right there, which one just big old bounce off of it right there. But with the price literally doing battle with it as I speak, if that level does not hold up, then the next key level to watch on Wednesday going to be right down there at $21.85. So if anything, we can just call this a support zone. Top of the support zone, $22.35. Bottom of the support zone, $21.85. And then, obviously if the price breaks down through this entire support zone, that would just illustrate that not only are the bears, strong, but they're getting just that much more stronger and they're taking that much more control back over of the chart. Now I'll zoom back in here. If there is any sort of bounce back to the upside, the key level from resistance standpoint in my mind, now going to be that area right there at $23.30. So again, any sort of bounce, $23.30 will be that first key battleground that needs to be broken. So that wraps up the top 10. Again, if you like what you saw here, then I want you to get signed up for the free training. And like I said, it'll be later this week, Thursday, February 23rd at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So I hope to see you there. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, please do 2 things for me. Hit that like button, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you traded today. Tell me what you're watching tomorrow. So go get signed up for that training. Thanks for watching. Hit that like button. And like I said, leave me a comment down below.